There's only one thing harder than winning the Southeastern Conference title, and that's repeating the feat 2 years in a row. The Tennessee Volunteers begin that quest today. Johnny Major's troops answered a lot of the questions about the offense last week in rolling up 35 points against New Mexico. Quarterback Jeff Francis engineered the attack with 230 yards passing against the Lobos. But the Volunteers will need defense if they are to repeat as champs, especially today against the SEC's returning leader in total offense, Don Smith of Mississippi State. Last week, the Bulldogs upended heavily favored Syracuse in the Carrier Dome as Smith ran and passed for over 200 yards. There's also a new head coach at Mississippi State, Rocky Felker, the SEC's Player of the Year in 1974. Might there be a new winning spirit brewing in the Bulldogs as well? The Volunteers will have to answer that question just a few moments from now as Southeastern Conference football kicks off from Knoxville, Tennessee versus Mississippi State.
Turner Network Television presents Super Football Saturday. Today, defending SEC champion and 8th-ranked Tennessee takes on Mississippi State. Brought to you by Natural Light Beer, the beer with the taste for food. When you're good and hungry, what's more natural than Natural Light?
From Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, the Mississippi State Bulldogs come visiting the defending SEC champion Tennessee Volunteers. It's a beautiful day for football here in Knoxville. Temperatures are going to be right around 80. The skies are crystal blue in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. Hello, everybody. This is Bob Neal along with Tim Foley. Tim, Mississippi State off to a good start last week, an upset over Syracuse. And two names you'll be hearing a lot today about Mississippi State. One is their new head coach, Rocky Felker. The other, the quarterback, Don Smith. And for Rocky, it's coming home again.
No question about it. He's another one of those homegrown heroes that's come back to his alma mater. A quarterback in 1974 that led his team to a Liberty Bowl victory, and he led the SEC in total offense, and he's bright, he's enthusiastic, but most importantly, I think he's got a quality staff to come in here and work with him.
And he gets to work with Don Smith, who is the defending total offense leader. The quarterback, he was a great winner in high school. Don Smith was 46-0 as a high school player. He's run 3 different offenses here at Mississippi State, and he's the man that makes them go.
All 3 of them are basically the same, though, Bob. It's going to be Don Smith. I mean, imagining the Mississippi State offense without Don Smith would be like trying to imagine the Supremes without Diana Ross. He's the guy that makes things happen, throwing the ball and running the football.
Well, for the Tennessee Volunteers, they're defending the SEC crown. They're a very strong team again this year, but they're hurting right now. Richard Cooper, a defensive tackle's out, and Keith Davis, a very fine running back, leading ground gainer last week, is hurt.
They've got a young quarterback, Jeff Francis. I think that John Majors would like to have relied more on the running game early on in this campaign. Keith Davis, though, is an exciting running back. He's not going to be playing. That's going to leave more of the weight on Jeff Francis's shoulders.
And Jeff, the young quarterback that Tim's talking about, is a sophomore from Mount Prospect, Illinois, has very little game experience, and so the defensive looks from Mississippi State could be important today.
I think so. One of the things I think is going to be fun to look for is Bruce Plummer on Mississippi State's defense is going to have to handle a lot of man-to-man responsibilities against Joey Clinkscales and Anthony Miller. It's going to be an interesting matchup to watch.
Well, it'll be the Volunteers and the Mississippi State Bulldogs in just a moment. We'll be back here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, but now let's return you to our studios in Atlanta.
All right, Bob, thank you very much, and welcome to our studios here in Atlanta on another Super Football Saturday on Turner.
A near sellout crowd of approximately 93,000 who will be here in Knoxville today. Just a few empty seats, and remember, it's 2 weeks before school even starts here at the University of Tennessee. They are on the semester series, but a lot of fans and students are already here, and it's another football Saturday in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Mississippi State Bulldogs have not played here since 1971. Since 1963. Mississippi State with a win last week over Syracuse to open the season, an upset over Syracuse, and they have a lot of enthusiasm. But coming into play at Neyland Stadium against the defending Southeastern Conference champions will be a tough job. Here comes Tennessee, led by Johnny Majors. A great 9-1-2 record last year, big Sugar Bowl victory, and the Volunteers look strong again. here in 1986. We'll be back in just a moment for the toss of the coin and the starting kickoff. Stay with us. Well, they just had the coin toss. Tennessee will receive the ball. You're looking at number 22, Charles Davis, with his helmet off in the middle of your picture. Last week, Thursday, before the football game, the opener with New Mexico, a story broke in the Knoxville paper about Tennessee players improperly distributing their free complimentary passes. Of course, the same had happened at Nebraska, naming some 45 Tennessee players. Some of them missed that New Mexico game. Now the NCAA has said that the players simply have to give up the passes based on how many they improperly used. Well, Charles Davis and the Tennessee players decided not to talk to the printed press here in Knoxville, and we asked Charles Davis to give us the background of that story.
As a team, we had a lot of pressure on us. We're all young, 18 to 22 years old. We have a lot of other things going on in our lives. And then to be hit by something like that right as we're getting ready for our season opener was a big blow to us. We really didn't know how to handle. We didn't know how we would feel and how we would react after the ball game. So we decided as a team that if we didn't talk to the media, that way we would be protecting ourselves from ourselves, because we were afraid we'd get in, emotions would be high, maybe we'd say the wrong thing, things of that nature. We thought if we just took a little time, got a little perspective, we'd be okay in the next week, and I think that we have, and here we are again.
Here we are again, and once again, as Charles Davis so articulately put it, those passes are important, and the players probably use some great judgment there about their dealing with the media, and Tennessee players trying to think football here today. The deep man on the left of your screen, wearing number 5, is a freshman from Gallatin, Tennessee, Thomas T.D. Woods, they call him. Number 26 on the left side of your screen is Vernon Bass. And number 36 is Pete Panuska over on the right side of your screen, set to receive the kickoff from Mississippi State. It'll be coming off the foot of number 2, Artie Cosby, the senior field goal kicker, who is an excellent kicker and a good leader on this team, which is a little bit unusual for the man who is the place kicker. So we're ready to get underway at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. University of Tennessee, defending Southeastern Conference champions, and a hopeful and a young team from Mississippi State. The squib kick comes to the 10 to Woods. Who gets to the 33-yard line. Thomas Woods from Gallatin, Tennessee, is tackled by 49 Dwayne King of Mississippi State. A 23-yard return. Number 15, the man who makes the Bulldogs go, is the quarterback that you just saw for Mississippi State. Of course, Tennessee is starting with the ball, and there you go. There's the starting lineup for Tennessee. Jeff Francis, the sophomore from Mount Prospect, Illinois. And I believe we have a change in the starting lineup in the running back situation due to the injuries. It's going to be William Howard and Jim Miller back there to start. The receivers you saw are correct: Clink Scales and Terrence Cleveland. From the 33-yard line for Tennessee, first down. They're just going to run it. That's the big fullback, who is a tailback today, William Howard. He's 225 pounds, normally the fullback. But remember, Tennessee lost fullback Charles Williams to a broken arm a few weeks ago. Then in the game last week against New Mexico, lost Keith Davis. So it's two fullbacks playing in the backfield. Howard and Miller, but Howard at the tailback. There's Darren Martin, very good linebackers in the middle for Mississippi State. It is second down 5 for Tennessee. Francis throwing. Incomplete. Intended for number 87, Joey Clink Scales. That was number 34, Milton Smith, with the pure freshman in that Mississippi State defensive backfield, and a key player. You'll be seeing a lot of him. Jackson, a senior at cornerback, is injured today and will be playing some, but sparingly. For Tennessee, third down 5. Francis goes down at the 27.
Or the turf. No dirt here.
Matter of fact, it's new turf. It's just been in about a month here at Neyland Stadium. Much softer. Players like it better. Bob Garman, the punter, number 41, had a good game last week. Gets away a good one here, too. Comes down to Milton Smith, the pure freshman. Had a 17-yard punt return last week, but not this week, and a penalty marker down at the 27-yard line. The initial hit by 89 Tim Hendricks. 47-yard punt, 2-yard on the return, but a penalty marker down at the 27. This Milton Smith, the freshman who had returned that punt there, is such a good athlete. He plays defensive back, he returns punts, and Mississippi State.
Exactly, Bob. As a matter of fact, he is the backup punter, and remarkable young athlete, 155 pounds, just a really not the size to play in this league, was only recruited by Delta State and Mississippi State. And talking to Bobby Wallace, he said, we might not have even recruited him if he didn't live in Starkville.
On the receiving team during the run back. First down.
And there comes Don Smith, last year's total offense leader. He is a great player. 4, 5, 40-yard dash by that quarterback. The running backs are Phillips and Taylor. Fred Hadley, Lewis Clark are the 2 receivers. There's the offensive line. Tom Good, the leader there, the center. The son, his dad played with the Dolphins, who's the coach on this team also. For the Bulldogs, on first down, Don Smith. Throwing. Incomplete. Penalty marker on the play. Beautiful day for football. List of other officials. Illegal procedure is the call, and it's against the Bulldogs. 2 consecutive penalties.
You're not going to get any hometown calls here, that's for sure.
First down.
So it'll be first down 15 as they spot the ball at the 8-yard line. A few empty seats in the upper reaches of this stadium, but there still will be 90,000 plus here today, and you're hearing them all right now, as are these players from Mississippi State. Here comes Don Smith doing what he does best, getting about 4 yards that time. Charles Davis, number 22, making the stop for Tennessee. That defensive lineup for the Volunteers, a couple of changes in there from what they would like to start with. Hovanek, Hunt, and Scott are on the defensive line. Richard Cooper injured, not playing. Outside linebackers, Dale Jones and Kimbrough. Jones, the big play man there. Excellent inside backers, too. And they are Darren Miller and Kelly Ziegler. It'll be Peppers and McDaniel on the corners, Davis at strong safety, Terry Brown at free safety. Excellent secondary for Tennessee. Second down 10 now for the Bulldogs. Throwing on the run. Incomplete, intended for Hadley. Peppers covering, number 8 for Tennessee. So Don Smith, Tim, his strong suit is not his passing, although he's a pretty good passing quarterback.
He's got a strong arm, Bob, but he hasn't had to rely on his passing skills to be successful, and I think and take off. John Majors.
John Majors with a coat and tie. You know, he usually wears a coaching shirt, but he's spiffed up Gentleman Quarterly like this year. To the 18-yard line goes Hank Phillips. Kelly Ziegler with the hit. It's short of the first down. And Mississippi State will have to turn over the football. So Johnny Majors, coach of the year. Now I guess maybe he's going for best dressed. Coach looks pretty good down there on the sideline.
You know, that would have been back in the days when John Majors was playing, would have been a perfect opportunity for a quick kick, something that he specialized in back in those days.
This punter is a pure freshman. Tommy Parks, number 23, 6'2", 195 from Houston. Wobbly punt. Andre Kramer takes it at midfield. The Volunteers, thanks to the exchange of possessions with good field position, only a 33-yard punt. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television. General Bob Nealon's 1950 Tennessee team would finish 11-1 with a win over Texas in the Cotton Bowl, but on a warm September afternoon in Starkville, Mississippi, the Mississippi State defense was more than the Vols could handle. The only touchdown of the game would be scored on the game's first possession by State's Tom Dutch Rushing. His short run gave the Bulldogs a 7-0 win back in 1950. Very unusual series for these teams. This is only the 34th game in a series that began back in 1907. They have not played since 1979 when Mississippi State won 28-9. On the 1st and 10, just a couple up the middle, the big William Howard playing tailback today in place of the injured Keith Davis.
They're pre-setting people all over the field down there, Bob. Panuska was lined up as a flanker, then shifted back in. What they're trying to do is confuse this young Mississippi State defense. If they only got one starter returning that's a senior that wasn't what was I trying to say? I'll figure that out when I come back.
Second down,
Brain
7.
damage struck.
You had a brownout between the ears. That's what you like to say. Second down 8 from the 48-yard line. Jeff Francis hands off to the tailback once again. William Howard drives it up near the 45-yard line. Mississippi State defense very rugged up front. They single setback is William Howard. extra receivers in for Tennessee now. Plenty of time for Francis. Wide out of bounds at the 17-yard line is freshman Terrence Cleveland from nearby Sweetwater, Tennessee. First down, Volunteers, gain of 27 yards.
Well, what makes this work for Jeff Francis is the protection that he's getting from that Tennessee offensive line. A man in the flat, the man that was responsible for the flat on defense, sucked up, opened up that gap as the cornerback ran deep with the flanker.
Terrence Cleveland, only 5'9", 150. Some project him as a potential replacement for the great Tim McGee, who was a #1 draft choice. Graduated last year from Tennessee. And off to Howard, driving inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Tackled by Jerry Leggett, number 59, the outside linebacker for the Bulldogs. So Tennessee on the exchange got excellent field position on the punt at the 50-yard line, thanks to the 27-yard pass and some good ground game here. The Volunteers are knocking at the door.
It's a time when Mississippi State probably come with a blitz.
Second down, 5 from the 13. Francis tosses quickly into the end zone to Clinkscales, who caught it out of bounds and hit that wall very, very hard. There is a little padding down there, but not much. And you saw how hard Joey Clinkscales, the leading returning receiver for this Tennessee football team. That young man will be shaken up on that play, no question about it. He really hit that restraining wall. It's only 2 yards past the end zone, a very dangerous area.
Joey Clinkscales here runs what they term a fade. He just tries to find the corner of the end zone. The ball's lifted up over the top of Richard Plummer's head. Good throw. A little bit too long. Excellent concentration here by Clinkscales. I mean, he's not a visiting team player. He knows that wall is there, hangs on to the football, but his feet are out of bounds. Feet are out of the end zone.
And his helmet.
That's what Tony Robinson had a problem with last year. But I don't think, Bob, I don't think that's going to be severe. I don't think that's that bad a stretch. These receivers are usually pretty loose.
Number 9, Vince Carter, for third down 5. Tennessee now from the 13. Back to action here. Scoreless ball game, first quarter from Knoxville. And a great defensive play by Mississippi State. It was keyed by the penetration right up front. Carlos Reveiz will attempt a 36-yard field goal. Reveiz, because of improper use of his comp passes, didn't get a play last week. But he's right on target as he left off last year. A 37-yard field goal by Carlos Reveiz. And the Volunteers lead by a score of 3-0 with 9:07 to go in the first quarter from Knoxville. First year back, he was an option-type quarterback, a total offense kind of quarterback back in the early 70s at Mississippi State. And, of course, Don Smith, now the #1 guy for the Bulldogs. And it's interesting about Don Smith from that quarterback position as you look at the scoring drive. Don Smith has a lot of reading of the defense to do, and we're going to have him tell you what he's thinking about when he gets the snap from center when we come back after the kickoff. But for right now, the University of Tennessee gets 3 points, and they got 3 instead of a touchdown thanks to great defensive play and a great call at a good time by the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Jerry Myers, number 10, is back to take the Reveiz kickoff. It may go out of bounds and does at the 10-yard line. State can either take it there or take the 5-yard penalty, and you can bet they'll do that. Remember, a rule change in college football again this year is the kickoffs come from the 35-yard line. And
learned a lot from his brother Fuad. Fuad had gone through a lot of the things and prepared him, got him ready, and I think as a result he was a lot more mature emotionally coming in here than most young kickers would be. His performance last year certainly displayed that.
Fuad kicking for the Miami Dolphins now. A history of great sidewinder kickers, going back to the great kicker passer from the Super Bowl. That's 10, Jerry Myers. Good return out to the 34-yard line. A nice job by young Jerry Myers. Keith DeLong making the stop for the Tennessee Volunteers. And now let's listen to what Don Smith, the quarterback, thinks about when he's sprinting out and playing this option offense.
This strong safety kind of hangs back inside. Then I hit my motion man in the flat about a 5-yard D route, and then, you know, hopefully he gain about 6 or 7 yards. I mean, plays such as those are not designed to go big yardage, but just, you know, control passes and making first downs.
And that time a shovel pass to Lewis Clark for just a couple. And Tim, you can help folks watch for that, because the read by Don Smith is really everything as to depending where he throws it or what he does with it.
Right, it's a simple read on the split out. If the safety hangs inside and deep to help the cornerback with the wide receiver, Don will throw it in the flat. If the safety jumps the man in the flat, he'll try to hit the curl in behind the safety.
2nd down 8 from the 36. Michael Taylor, number 28 with the ball. Very little yardage on that play off the option play. And you were talking about the fact that the offense hasn't changed all that much, even though there have been 3 different, quote, philosophies in 3 years. It is key to Don Smith. But it looks a little bit like Alabama's to me.
It does. You know, basically it's been for the last 3 years Smith to the left, Smith to the right. But you will see when Don doesn't have the football, a lot of similarities to Alabama's inside trapping game and play passing action game.
3rd down, about 8. It's complete to the running back. 1st down. And he broke the tackle. It's Hank Phillips, number 29, driven out of bounds inside Tennessee territory. They're going to
out there to try to put him down.
Quick toss incomplete. He was looking over to Lewis Clark, the split end. Clark was the tight end last year, was moved, and the quick toss will bring up 2nd down 10.
What happens is a team defensively will try to design different blitzes against different teams, and in doing that, assignments change, and whoever had the first back to the wide side of the field just simply blew an assignment there. Nice job by Smith getting him the ball as he got Ziegler's helmet in his ribs.
29 Phillips and 28 Taylor, the running backs now for Mississippi State on 2nd down 10 from the 38 of Tennessee. Handoff Phillips, nowhere to go. Tennessee's defense stops and goal. Kelly Ziegler leading the way. Ziegler missed last week's game also because of the improprieties with the complimentary passes. He's the key to the middle. Jones is the key to the outside of the linebackers, and Ziegler the man in the middle, number 49. And he's already had 3 tackles today.
Here comes Kramer into the game, 5 defensive backs. Tennessee's got to be awfully concerned about the wide side of the field, and that's why Mississippi State's trying to get something going back into the sideline.
3rd down long again. Here they come. Going on the right, it's complete to the running back. And it is number 28, Michael Taylor, who gets another 1st down to the 20. 5 yards. You see Rocky Felker on the left there, not very happy. Of course.
Receiver downfield on the offense, no loss of down, repeat 3rd down.
There's always a big argument about that call, and that is whether the quarterback was going to pass the ball, whether he was going to run the ball, and whether or not the ineligible receiver, such as an offensive lineman, gets downfield too quickly.
And what can happen is that a lineman can maintain contact with a man a couple, 3 yards down the field, but if he loses contact with that defensive player, he's got to go down to the ground. He can't stand around.
5 defensive backs for the Volunteers. 3rd and 15 now for the Bulldogs from the 44 of Tennessee. Straight drop back. Smith going long, has a man there. Does the ball get there? Touchdown! Hadley, Fred Hadley, the sophomore from Tupelo, 44 yards, and the Bulldogs have the lead in this 1st quarter. Artie Cosby for the point after. It's good. And with 6 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the 1st quarter, the Mississippi State Bulldogs have quieted the 90,000 plus a little bit with the 44-yard touchdown pass. This is super tip back. He is 3 for 5 for 71 yards and a 44-yard touchdown pass. Tim, the last
been through some tough times in Mississippi State in Starkville, and he's excited about a winning football team this year.
Vernon Bass down at the 31-yard line for Tennessee, and the Volunteers trailing 7-3 now. Get a 19-yard kickoff return from Bass, and you see he could become the all-time total offense leader at Mississippi State. Clink Scales, who was injured, is back in for Tennessee on the 1st down. Screen to the left side. That is number 7, Anthony Miller. He's a burner. They'll never catch him. Touchdown, Tennessee, but hold it. There is a penalty marker down. 69 yards. He may have stepped out of bounds. there's no penalty marker. That is a yellow card or frisbee that's on the field, but the official is saying he stepped out of bounds at the 47-yard line. As we look at this, Anthony Miller, number 7, is a junior college transfer from Pasadena.
And they say he's got the skill of a Tim McGee. Great hands, ability to move after he has the football. Watch this.
Does he go out?
But a fine job of blocking by the Tennessee. It's awfully tough to see from here. But a fine job of blocking by the Tennessee receivers and linemen helping to get downfield. Let's take a look here now.
This is a great angle to see if he stepped out. Watch the 47. He didn't look out to me, but it was very close. They mark it at the 47. First down, Tennessee. Still in Volunteer territory. Would have been a 69-yard touchdown. Francis hands off to the tailback. Howard breaks through the middle. First down, Tennessee. Gets to about the 42.5-yard line. Milton Smith with the tackle. It'll be close to a first down. They're moving the ball back. It may be shy. Maybe only a 9-yard run that time. William Howard, the fullback, but is an excellent tailback. And John Ward, the voice of the Volunteers, who follows his team closely, knows about as much as a lot of the coaches do, I think, sometimes, says that he doesn't think Tennessee loses a lot between Davis and William Howard at tailback, but they really lose a lot by moving Howard from the fullback spot. In other words, he likes Howard as a tailback. Now, Pete Panuska is in there at tailback for Tennessee. A second down short. Pass to the right side. That's to Clinkscales. He's close to the first down. Darren Martin with the tackle. May have to have a measurement. Chains on the far side of the field.
Bob, in that situation, the best read for the defensive back is that the closest tackle to you. You know, when he starts coming your way, you better quit backing up, friend. You better get upfield and wall yourself off. Don't get picked off by that fella.
It is a first down just by inches. They spot the ball just outside the 42-yard line. Mississippi State's Bulldogs are leading the Volunteers 7-3 with 4:58 to go in the first quarter from Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you. Hope you're enjoying our Southeastern Conference football. Fumble and Francis fell on it. Going to lose a yard or so. Fumble in the exchange from center. 66, Todd Kirk, the center for Tennessee, and Francis, the sophomore.
Green has been an effective play for Tennessee over the last 3 or 4 years. The problem you have defensively is when you stretch people out to take that away, they'll hit you in the middle with the run.
It is second down 12. Francis. Complete. Knocked down quickly is Joy Clinkscales at the 36-yard line. Gain of about 5. There's Clinkscales, a senior from Knoxville. He's the big man receiving-wise for Tennessee this year, but watch for Anthony Miller to step in there and really develop as the year goes by. Howard and Jim Miller are the running backs. Francis off to a good start throwing, 4 out of 6 for 53 yards. Third down and less than 5, about 4. Clinkscales first down at the 25-yard line. Anthony Butts, number 92, the great defensive left tackle.
What a game he had last week against Syracuse. And that's the way to attack a big fella like that. Take his legs away from him.
It was William Howard who took him down. Nice block. Howard's normally a fullback and a tailback today. It's first down 10, Tennessee at the 25-yard line. No penalty marker there, but the official went over to the sideline. I think they want to, it's an official's timeout. I think they want to adjust the markers to make sure they are exactly right. While we have a brief timeout, you see the time left in the first quarter. Remind you that the Volunteers are trailing Mississippi State 7-3 on a 44-yard touchdown pass.
He assisted at Mississippi State before he went with Rex Dockery to Texas Tech and then followed Dockery to Memphis State before he spent the last 3 years with Ray Perkins.
And Johnny Majors. What can you say about Johnny Majors? You can come home again. That's the title of his new book, by the way. He wrote with a Knoxville newspaper writer by the name of Ben Bird, which I just read over the weekend. Talks about Johnny Majors from Lynchburg, Tennessee, all the way to Pittsburgh. Stops at Texas Tech and Iowa State. What a job he's done.
Outstanding. And in his 10th year, he's got the longest tenure of consecutive season for any Volunteer coach. I guess Neyland was here for 21 years, but it was in 3 different stints.
General Bob Neyland, of course, who the stadium is named after here. It's Shields Watkins Field, meaning the surface, but it's Neyland Stadium here in Knoxville. the first down and 10. Handoff to the tailback. Big hole. William Howard driving to the 8-yard line. First down. Jesse Anderson with the tackle for Mississippi State's Bulldogs. William Howard rambles for a big gainer. 18 yards.
Look at him coming up the gut. Bruin and Kirk Galbraith. Hard to miss that hole, Bob.
That's a 225-pound tailback coming at you. You can see why the folks like him even at the tailback position. He can play. Tennessee with an opportunity to regain the lead here. First and goal from the 8. Here comes Howard again. Touchdown, Tennessee. William Howard now with 8 carries for 44 yards, including that touchdown run. And the Tennessee Volunteers have a 9-7 lead. Carlos Reveiz in for the point after. Randy Sanders, the sophomore backup quarterback, will hold, number 12. And Reveiz missed it all. I don't know what happened, but that sure went awry, and the lead remains 9-7 Tennessee.
To toss back to the sidelines for the fine job of blocking by the Tennessee offensive front. Look at Bruce Wilkerson there, clearing the way, and Kirby Jackson came upfield. Asa Bennett tried to fill the hole, but Howard just took him into the end zone.
Well, it's 9-7 Tennessee, 2:57 to go. First quarter from Knoxville. So thanks to the missed point after by Carlos Reveiz, who had never missed a point after in his career here. That's his first point after touchdown miss ever. A very big miss, too, because now Mississippi State, of course, within a field goal of taking the lead again. So Carlos will be thinking about that. Let's see if it affects his kicking game any. Tim, it's been very unusual here. I frankly expected, and the running has been significant, particularly for Tennessee, but look at the quarterbacks. Francis, 5 out of 7 for 64 yards for Tennessee. Smith, 3 for 5 for 71. So the quarterback's going to the air a lot more than I expected.
I would agree with you there. And one of the things I think that we ought to talk about is what's going on these days? Why all the yardage? Were people just not as good back in the mid-60s or early 70s?
82, Lewis Clark, down at the 26. It is amazing. They're all falling. Charles Kimbrough with the stop for Tennessee, and here the Bulldogs will set up. You see, that's a short drive, only 3:25. All the scoring drives have been under 4 minutes, thanks to a long pass play or a long run on both sides.
Right, there have been big plays on both sides of the ball. And one of the primary objectives of any defense is to eliminate any play over 20 yards. Make them work down the field.
Both defenses gave up a lot of yardage last week in their openers, even though both teams won. Myers in motion. First down, Bulldogs. Hand off to Phillips out to the 30-yard line. Gain of about 4. Hank Phillips is a sophomore from Meridian, Mississippi, number 29. Seen the big running play from quarterback Don Smith yet.
I would give him some time. The thing that worries defensive coaches most about Don Smith is what happens when he's got the ball and the play they planned didn't work. Then they get hit.
Giant noise here at Neyland Stadium on the second down. Here's Smith turning upfield. First down, Don Smith to the 38-yard line. Darren Miller with the tackle. It is first down, Bulldogs from their own 37-yard line. Trailing Tennessee 9-7. Don Smith, the pitch. Penalty marker down. Nice move by Phillips. Out to the 40. Nice cut and spin there, but a penalty marker was down at the line of scrimmage. Mark Hovanek with the tackle for the Tennessee Volunteers. Illegal procedure, Bulldogs.
The man in motion was heading toward the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. Your primary concern when you play someone with the skill of a Don Smith is containment.
For 28 yards in penalties, you just heard Dick Burleson, the referee, say not enough men on the line of scrimmage. So now it's first down 15 from the 32. On the draw. Not much. Maybe half a yard. Michael Taylor, the running back, sophomore from Louisville, Mississippi. There's the man with the tackle, Brian Kimbrough.
Tennessee is loaded on defense. I think the New Mexico game last week was a good experience for them. They gave up 394 yards, 21 points. That's as many points as they've given up in the previous 5 games. So that woke them up a little bit. Tell them the banquet season's over.
Second down, 13 from the 34. Out of the split back formation, you can see Smith calling an audible. Play was stopped before it got started.
Delay of game.
I believe the clock ran down to 0. Right, 25 seconds in the college game, 30 seconds in the pro game. And Don Smith got up, took a look at that Tennessee defense, started to audible, and it took him a little too long to get the play underway. And that's the 5th penalty now for 33 yards. And the Bulldogs, their own worst enemy here in the first quarter with 46 seconds left, even though they only trail 9-7.
Delay a game, offense, repeat the down.
Rocky Felker looks on. That's another one of the intricacies that you see more now in the game of football. Tennessee was coming on that one. You saw Charlie Davis coming from the weak side.
Now it's second down, 18 from the 29-yard line. No blitz this time. Smith throwing. It's complete. But the receiver, Lewis Clark, stepped out of split in. He moved his position this year. On the first down from the 49. Play fake. Smith throwing on the run. Has a man there. Can't get to it. He was looking for number 84, John Lowe. Oh, that Mississippi State offense.
And the problem that most people that are just great athletes have is that they throw the ball into coverage too much.
Second down, 10 from the Bulldogs 49. Smith is complete. Down to the...
Most quarterbacks get their feet moving, but he follows through and drills the ball into Bush.
Interesting, Tim. Tennessee's defense continues to give up yardage just like they did last week. The official steps in before the ball is snapped due to the quarter ending the end of the first quarter with the Bulldogs on the march. Tennessee leading Mississippi State by a score of 9-7. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television. 9-7 over the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you from Knoxville, Tennessee. If there's a prettier day for football in a prettier part of the country, you could fool me. It is gorgeous. About 78 degrees, blue skies, foothills of the Smoky Mountains. The Bulldogs marching. First down, 10 from the 32. The handoff goes to Calvin Robinson, who drives inside. See the first quarter statistics there. Tennessee ahead rushing, but look at that, 110 yards passing for Don Smith. Very surprising.
Very surprising. And of course, that's a little bit loaded when you work in a 44-yard touchdown pass. It's got a little bit of a bias in there, but been an impressive performance through the air for Smith so far today.
They give him a gain of 6 on that. Second down, 4. Just outside the 25-yard line. On the option, Smith with the ball. Penalty marker down. Smith gets the first down. Charles Davis. And that'll be 6 holding against the Bulldogs. 6 penalties here early in the game against Mississippi State.
Tom Goods. There's
scores today. A lot of SEC teams in action. We'll keep you up to date.
Offense, repeat the down.
Well, I'll move it back now outside the 35 to the 36-yard line, and it'll be second down and 14 to go. Other SEC teams playing today. Southern Miss is at Alabama this afternoon. Duke's at Georgia. Rutgers at Kentucky. Ole Miss at Arkansas. That's a big one tonight. Texas A&M at LSU. And Vanderbilt plays at Maryland. On the second down, Smith throwing on the run. Has a man open. Diving attempt is incomplete. Down at the 8-yard line, Lewis Clark.
Tennessee in a zone defense. Clark trying to find the seam along the sideline in that fade area. He's a skilled athlete,
too, excellent. As we say, he moved from tight end to split end, and he looks very much at home as a split end. Big split end, 6'2", 220. Hey, Char. They're probably talking about Charlie Wilson, Charles Wilson, the tailback, or else his girlfriend. Don Smith doesn't like what he sees, calls timeout. This crowd is really something here. Big effect in the game. It's 3rd and 14 from the 36-yard line. Mississippi State calls their first of 3 first-half timeouts. We'll be right back to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. From the Tennessee 36. Remember, MSU has converted 2 big third-down plays already today.
I think this time Tennessee's going to come after him.
5 defensive backs. Don Smith sprinting out. Here they come. Throwing on the run. It's complete. A good block for Calvin Robinson. Gets across the 30 to the 29-yard line. Short of the first down, of course. Lost his helmet. Jerry McDaniel with the hit. 7-yard gain. And let's see. They'll spot it at the 29. That would make it about a 40, let's say a 46, 47-yard field goal attempt here by Artie Cosby. Cosby, an excellent senior kicker. He's got the range to hit it from here. As we look at the little streamers on the flagpole, not much of a wind down at field level. Shouldn't be a factor here. And it's going to be real close, but short. Didn't hit it well. And Tennessee maintains the lead 9-7 with 13:25 to go here in the first half. And Artie Cosby comes up a little bit short at Neyland Stadium. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television. Randy Sanders has gone in at quarterback for Tennessee. He's the backup sophomore. Sanders and Francis very close in the battle for the starting quarterback job. Was narrowly won by Francis. And Johnny Majors told us yesterday that he hoped to use Sanders a little bit today. Sophomore from nearby Morristown, Tennessee. Very smart guy. All academic SEC his freshman year. Here's Sanders throwing first time out. Anthony Miller, number 7. First down. Inside Bulldog territory to about the 47-yard line.
That looked like a kickoff return.
23 yards on the pass. Randy Sanders starting with a hot hand here on that little toss out to the sideline. This has worked very well for the Bulls.
Mississippi State has to get somebody out in this. Look at all those orange jerseys out there. And here comes little Milton Smith up there to try to do some damage, and he shakes off Asa Bennett. Finally, Plummer drags him to the dirt, but you can see the explosiveness just in the way that Miller carries a football.
Only 2 catches and he has 40 yards. The running play gets a yard or so, not much more. William Howard carrying the ball.
And both of those catches were behind the line of scrimmage. What they like best about Miller is his ability to break something big. And I think that's the same style at McGee and Galt. The guys that catch the football, yeah, but then they can make a big play.
There's Randy Sanders. He's 6 feet 1 inch tall, 209 pounds. Red-shirted back in 1984. Went to Morristown East High School, about 30 miles northeast of Knoxville. Second down 9 from the 46. Big toss. Not much on it. Down to the 45 goes Pete Panuska, the tailback. And we're going to Atlanta for this college football update.
Thank you very much, Bob. Updating that Iowa State game for you. The Hawkeyes have just scored.
And there was a penalty marker on this play, and it's going to be personal foul against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. That's 7 penalties against the Bulldogs here with just a little more than 3 minutes or so, 2.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. Terrence Cleveland, the player, they're looking at the tape on his right ankle there. Terrence is the freshman receiver, the flanker for Tennessee. Doesn't look to be serious at this moment, but we'll keep updated on Terrence Cleveland. 58 yards, 7 penalties. See the difference, and it's been a tremendous difference. Yet Tennessee leads only 9-7 on the march this time. New quarterback Randy Sanders. William Howard to the 28-yard line, and down he goes. A gain of about 4 on the play. Cedric Corse from Atlanta. 2 Atlanta linebackers playing for Mississippi State. Darren Martin also from Atlanta, Georgia. It'll be second down 7 from the 27. Johnny Majors wants to get both these young quarterbacks game experience. Here's the pitch to William Howard again. Olive is blocking very well. Inside the 15 to the 14, tripped up by 96 Michael Simmons finally. A gain of 11. And William Howard, in 11 carries, has 60 yards.
Tennessee offensive line is doing an exceptional job of getting Bulldogs on the ground. Mississippi State having a hard time getting off their blocks and getting into the pursuit. They're leaving these defensive backs out there all by themselves. And Howard's going to break a long one before he's through.
Number 40 is Jeremiah Sangster, inside linebacker sophomore, who's being snapped again here. Action this afternoon. Georgia leading Duke at Athens 3-0 in the second quarter. North Carolina over Kansas 3-0. That's in the second. And Georgia Tech trailing Furman in Atlanta 7-0. Furman, a very big power in 1AA football, gave Tech trouble previously. Here it is first down 10. Tennessee right at the 15-yard line of Mississippi State. Here's Howard again running behind that great Tennessee offensive line all the way down near the 5, close to a first down. Tripped up by 53 Course and 58 Darren Martin.
See Bruin and Wilkerson crossing blocks there, and Bruce Wilkerson has got to be one of the best linemen in the country. Just a big, strong, agile player. That's just a good job of running by William Howard.
So now it is second down 1 from the 6-yard line of Mississippi State. We're going to go to Howard again. I keep going to that horse every time. Touchdown, Tennessee. Volunteers have taken a 15-7 lead now.
Good lead up the middle and just nobody there.
I like what I see. William Howard from the tailback position. He's quick, great acceleration, and obviously powerful.
Gives him a different look, for example, than, say, Alabama, who really plays with 2 tailbacks. They're playing with 2 fullbacks now here in Tennessee.
Corvey's got his point after touchdown string started again. He was 31 for 31 coming into this season, but he missed one previously. Tennessee now leads 16-7. We have 10:27 to go, second quarter. Second string Tennessee tailback who didn't expect to play ran 81 yards for a touchdown, and watch number 45. There he is with an interception and sparked the Vols to a 19-7 win in 1954. That sophomore was Johnny Majors, the 9th leading runner in Tennessee history and the 1956 runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. And many thought he should have won it that year. That was the year that Paul Hornung won at Notre Dame. And there's Johnny Majors in his younger days, and he's still in great shape. Went in to meet with him yesterday and just finished playing tennis and jogging. Says he still runs a 4.540.
4.540, yeah, right. Yeah.
That's what he said. Yeah, I said, do you? And he said, yeah, right. You've got to be quick to be a major college head coach, right?
Well, he was twice the SEC Player of the Year. Let's see if he can repeat as a coach of the SEC champions. Well, work cut out for him, but the schedule is really in his favor, isn't it, Bob?
Tennessee's schedule is an interesting one. In 1986, in New Mexico, and at Mississippi State, Auburn. Next week at Auburn will be a tough one. But then Texas, El Paso, Army ought to win both those games. They have a beneficial schedule. This is Lewis Clark, number 82. Nice run out to the 35-yard line from Lewis Clark. 22, Charles Davis with the tackle. That was a kickoff return of 25 yards. There's a scoring drive for the Volunteers. 70 yards, 7 plays, 2 minutes, 58 seconds. Once again, a very quick scoring drive. All the scoring drives for both teams have been that way today. And Howard, who now has 74 yards on the day with the touchdown. With 2 touchdowns, one on a 6-yard run, one on an 8-yard run. First down 10 from the 35. Don Smith at quarterback for the Bulldogs. Not running much today, throwing the ball much more. Straight dropbacks. Nobody there this time. Intended for 82, Lewis Clark. Seeing from Don Smith today.
I think, Bob, the Tennessee has overloaded the defense so significantly to the wide side of the field that Dave Rader, the offensive coordinator for Mississippi State, probably is trying to work back into the sideline, trying to balance them up a little bit, give them a chance to compete.
It is second down 10 from the 35-yard line. Bulldogs trailing 16-7. Pitch to the outside back is number 29, Hank Phillips. He gets it outside. Now we have a pure freshman in, number 43, Demetrius Swopes from Florence, Alabama, for the Bulldogs.
You also have 5 defensive linemen in the game, Bob.
Third down 2. It's Taylor, cuts against the grain, doesn't get the first down. Darren Miller makes the stop for Tennessee. That helped a lot to stop that play, did it not, Tim? The 5 defensive linemen.
I think so. It was a short yardage defense. Terry Brown came out of the game with free safety.
Bulldogs are going to give it up. They'll bring in their pure freshman punter, Tommy Parks, number 23. Last week against Syracuse, Rocky Felker played 9 pure freshmen, meaning they're not redshirted. These are brand new college students. There's Andre Kramer, who will be taking the punt return from Tommy Parks.
And one thing I want you to notice about this pure freshman punter from Mississippi State is he takes a pretty long time to get rid of the football.
Just barely got it away that time. Kramer at his 13-yard line. When he get outside, has the fence there. Can't turn the corner, though. Chased out of bounds. Good job of punt coverage by 49 Dwayne King. They'll spot that ball out of bounds at about the 17-yard line of Tennessee. So field position is turned around a little. 42-yard punt, 5-yard return.
Darren Miller is coming limping off the field. Seems to have a problem with his ankle.
A watch on him. Clinkscales was injured earlier for Tennessee, the wide receiver, but is okay and back in the game. There's Miller now, number 45. They'll check him over. Tennessee with some early season injury problems. They don't want to have any more for sure. First down 10 from the 17. Volunteers leading 16-7 midway through the second quarter. Sanders going upstairs with it. Over the shoulder grab. What a nice catch, and out of bounds at the 43 by T.D. Woods from Gallatin, Tennessee, a freshman. Number 5, 26-yard pass completion. Tough catch over the shoulder.
Tennessee practices this pattern. They got him running down the field, man-to-man, straight up the field. Plummer's in excellent position. What you're going to see happening, I think, Bob, over the next couple of years is they're going to start teaching defensive backs to turn into the receiver as opposed to turning back toward the ball, because you can't defend against that pass.
Nicely thrown ball by the sophomore Randy Sanders, who's coming here in relief of Jeff Francis, the starter. Hand off to the fullback. Hole again, about 8 yards to the 48-yard line from Jim Miller, senior from Nashville. Cedric Course with a tackle. Let's go to Atlanta for a college football update.
All right, passing.
104 yards in 4 attempts in the first quarter. We'll keep up with that. Thank you, Kevin. Incomplete on the second down and 2. It was intended to Clinkscale. Smith covered.
One of the things Bobby Wallace discussed as you watch this inside route, and you're going to see Milton Smith come in, take Clinkscale's legs out from under him. Just wanted to remind Joey that he's still there. Smith, of course, is, what is he, 5'8", Bob?
I'd say 5'8". They list him at 5'11", but he's about 5'8", 155. Why the statistics are stretched, I'll never know. It's usually the player who wants to be bigger. Here's the handoff to William Howard. He does not get the first down. It was 3rd and short yardage. And once again, the Mississippi State defense penetrated quickly. 53 Cedric Course. Then Martin made the tackle. And on those 3rd down situations, these Bulldog defenders have been tenacious on several occasions. So now Tennessee's going to get rid of the football. The fans here want them to go for it, but it's too early for that. In the mind of Johnny Majors.
Have you ever heard the fans say, punt it, punt it?
Only during some of the real lean years for, say, the Atlanta Falcons during my days of broadcasting.
Right,
I've heard
say,
the fans say,
on first down, huh?
Punt it. Falcons may be better this year, though. 47-yard punt the first time for Bob Garman. He gets off another beauty here. They're going to let him see it, but it'll bounce into the end zone. May stop, though. Now it took a bounce for, in that case, Mississippi State. He had one of those pooch kicks coming down, I thought. 49-yard punt. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Put the ball in play there. Tennessee leads by a score of 16-7 with 6:51 to go in the first half of play. It's a beautiful day for football. I can't emphasize enough how the weather is. Low humidity, blue skies, nice breeze. Shirt sleeve crowd at Neyland Stadium here in Knoxville. School's not in session yet. It'll be a couple of weeks before classes start here on the campus of the University of Tennessee. Smith from the 20 sets his Bulldogs. This is Phillips. Only a couple. Kelly Ziegler with the stop over there, number 49.
Young man out of Palmetto High School down in Miami.
This Tennessee defense is, they only lost 2 players last year from that great Tennessee defensive unit, one of which, of course, was Chris White, the strong safety, but Davis has filled in there beautifully, and this defense may be better than last year, too.
Yes, but there's a certain magic in it. It's almost like a band playing a song, and you have to recapture that momentum. It just doesn't normally flow over into the next season.
It hasn't been recaptured so far. I would agree with you. 2nd down 8. Smith throws it to the right side. Taylor with the reception. Taylor shy of the first down out to the 28-yard line, and what a punishing hit he took. Andre Kramer with the initial tackle down there. Charles Davis also getting up off the pile. There's Rocky Felker.
One of the things Rocky's got to be concerned about is the health of Don Smith. I mean, one guy can't pull the wagon all year long. He's got to have these running backs come to life, start breaking some tackles. The receivers have done a little bit today. Hadley getting open a 44-yard touchdown, but behind Don Smith is one of those true freshmen.
I will see if Tennessee can stop Don Smith on a short yardage situation if in fact Smith is the guy to keep the ball. Let's watch. He says timeout. 2nd timeout for the Bulldogs. Didn't like the way the Tennessee defense was lined up for the play that had been called, and Don Smith goes over to the sideline. Total offense leader of 2nd in history at Mississippi State to John Bond. Rocky Felker, the man he's talking to there, and the new head coach is, I think, has 137 yards total offense here today. We have 5:28 to go in the 2nd quarter. Double tight ends in there now. Here's Don Smith. He's looking for 2 yards on the 3rd down. Needs a block. He's real close to it. So Don Smith was able to get it, if only by about half the length of the football, and it's 1st down Bulldogs from their own 30, trailing 16-7. 5 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. Incomplete. The ball was a little too high. It was intended for Hank Phillips over here on the near sideline. Don Smith took another punishing hit after he threw the ball, and that happens over and over. There's a new rule this year, Tim, about not throwing the quarterback in college football, not throwing the quarterback to the ground.
As we were talking before, clean shots are fine, but some people take cheap shots at that quarterback and he's got his ribs exposed.
Smith's going long, has a man there. It is complete to Lowe, and Lowe still shaking loose the would-be tackler, goes to the 28. Kramer finally pulls him down, and the penalty marker goes down. 15-7, but threatening a 41-yard pass from Don Smith to John Lowe. Here's the end around. This is Lewis Clark to the 20. Gain of 2 or 3 yards. Darren Miller with the tackle. Robbie Scott, by the way, limped off the field, the defensive left tackle for Tennessee, on that last play. And now we have Fred Bennett, Mike Whitehead, and Mark Hovanek on there. It's really a patchwork defensive line for Tennessee.
Yes, it is, and the guessing game goes on. Dave Rader calling a reverse to Clark. I think he was hoping to get a blitz out of Ken Donahue. Get man-to-man coverage. Didn't happen. Tennessee played a zone. Stayed at home on their reverse responsibilities.
2nd down 7 from the 20-yard line of the Volunteers. Bulldogs on the march. Hand off to the fullback. It's Taylor inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. Double tight ends in his short yardage. 3rd down, less than 1. To Taylor, the fullback. And it'll just depend where they think he got in terms of forward progress. Ziegler with the tackle. The spot will be everything here. And it'll be a big marking of the ball, because at this point, in this point of the game, you almost have to go for the field goal instead of going for the 1st down. Although new head coach, we don't know. He'll come in and mark. And with Don Smith, you know.
Matter of fact, they went for it on 4th down once and failed to make it. But here they go.
I think they're going to go for it. Yes, the kicker is not coming in. Taylor goes out, and Marvell McKelpin comes in as the running back position. It is 4th down, and you saw the distance, about 5 inches. Just outside the 13-yard line. The crowd will be a factor here, cheering for the Tennessee defense. Full house backfield. Lewis Clark is back there. Don Smith keeps it, turns it upfield, 1st down. That's where From the 9, first and goal, Bulldogs trailing 16-7. 2:34 to go in the first half. Don Smith cuts it upfield, but Tennessee's there. Excellent coverage by the Volunteers. 3 players were there. Hovanek gets credit for the tackle, but they contained Don Smith. They kept him from getting outside and forced him to run into the teeth of the defensive unit, something that is a goal of this Volunteer defensive unit. There's Hovanek, kind of a junkyard player. He doesn't always look pretty, but he sure gets it done well.
Probably the most pleasant surprise of last year in this defense. He and Chris White amazed their coaches. Their development was abnormal.
Second down, 12 from the 12. Smith going to just toss it down to the corner. It's complete but out of bounds. Incomplete. Lewis Clark. It'll come back. Nice catch. Lewis not real thrilled about the outcome.
Oh, going too fast toward the sidelines. You want to get a little bit more air under that ball. You want it to come over the top of the defensive back and totally eliminates any vision that he has on the football.
The Bulldogs are only 3 out of 8 on third down conversions, but they've converted some big ones. This is 3rd and 12 from the 12. Smith's going to the same thing again. It's a touchdown. What a great catch by Lewis Clark. The defensive back was trying to battle it out of his hands. Clark stayed with it, and the Bulldogs have scored.
Been a fine cornerback for the Volunteers for several years. Goes up for the ball and just, that's not Brown. Who is that? Peppers?
That's Victor Peppers.
Victor Peppers.
Sorry.
I was wondering if they'd shifted him back to cornerback for that play or what, but almost missed that.
Lewis Clark with a tremendous grab, and the Bulldogs here have pulled to within 2. Tennessee, I kind of admired the fact they went right back to the well 2 times in a row, and they saw it worked on the previous play, and Clark caught it out of bounds. There's T.D. Woods, tripped up at the 15, falls forward to about the 18 by number 38, James Williams. And there, the Volunteers have 1 minute, 39 seconds in the first half to try to pad the lead of 16-14. This is a whale of a football game, folks. We expected it to be this kind of ball game. I haven't expected the passing game to be so important, but I did think that it would be close, Tim.
I thought it would be close, but lower scoring. And I'm seeing now why John Majors had a hard time making his decision about the quarterback. Sometimes it's because neither one of them are doing very well. In this case, it's because both of them are doing real well.
Combined, the 2 Tennessee quarterbacks, Francis and Sanders, are 7 out of 10, 113 yards, no interceptions. Sanders with a timeout. Sanders has a single setback in there in this arrangement, William Howard, and he had 3 wide receivers, so that may be the wrong alignment for this defense. We'll see what happens. We'll pause 5 seconds while they have a chat there to allow our local stations to identify themselves. Randy Sanders, a little bit more of the mobile quarterback, a little bit more of a scrambler. He's not a running quarterback. Francis, the taller of the 2, he's 6'3". Sanders, the player that's in there now, is 6'1". But they are very even. In the spring game, it was just neck and neck. And John Majors told us yesterday, Tennessee's coach said that Randy Sanders had some good practice the last couple of days this week, and he'd hoped to use him someday.
Well, he had some actual game time.
Speaking of on the field, last year's star quarterback, Darrell Dickey, is here. He is back in school. He was drafted by San Diego, was cut by the Chargers, and is back in school at the University of Tennessee, finishing his degree. He's on the sideline today watching his teammates. On the first down 10 now from the 17. They try it again. Here's Anthony Miller. Gets a good block. He's got the first down. All the way to the 49-yard line. Anthony Miller. He holds the junior college records nationally for both the 100 and 200 meter dash. So you know he has great speed.
I think that's Wilkerson down in the field. See, this is like a kickoff return. This is like lining up 4 linemen out there and snapping the ball, throwing it out there. Mississippi State is going to have to adjust on defense. And the idea is you want to corral that fella, grab a hold of something.
66, who is down in the field. They're looking at him about the 22-yard line. This Anthony Miller, as I say, is a junior from Pasadena, California. And John Major said he had the best natural hands of any speedster. He's coached here. And you're talking about Stanley Morgan, Willie Gault, Clyde Duncan, Tim McGee, etc. I don't think he included McGee in terms of the speedster category, but this fella here is a real sprinter, number 7. There you see Kirk coming off the field. Let's hope he's okay. They'll look him over on the sideline. Ray Robinson, 72 in at center now. Ray Robinson, the center's going in, weighs 280, by the way. Tennessee has some offensive linemen. First down 10. The ball out near the 50-yard line. Terrence Cleveland in motion. Penalty marker down. All day for Sanders. It's incomplete. He was looking for Terrence Cleveland. Had a man open just shy of the 50-yard line. Now Pete Panuska and William Howard are the running backs. 2 receivers split up there to the top of your screen. One down to the bottom for the Volunteers. And Randy Sanders dumps it off left side. That is 36, Panuska. He gets inside Mississippi State territory. Gain of about 4. Jesse Anderson with the tackle. Good quarterback pressure that time from Simmons, who came up from his left tackle position. Timeout, Tennessee in Knoxville. One of the greatest sports broadcasters in the history of the game, Lindsey Nelson. They're going to honor Lindsey with a testimonial dinner here November 6th. Paul Horning is going to be the master of ceremonies. They'll make that very interesting. And Paul says this is the first time Lindsey will ever have let him talk.
Interesting. That's that's a euphemism, isn't it?
Interesting. And of course we know that's not true. Lindsey let Paul talk. Sometimes for Paul's sake, maybe a little too much. Paul will be on the air with one of our broadcasts tonight, by the way. We have a full day of football for you. I want to remind you that this telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Southeastern Conference, intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any public... And by the way, this would have been the opening day for the USFL. So we'd like to invite all of those viewers to watch our game here. 200 or 300 of them. Sanders hit in the backfield. It was coarse. Shot right up the middle. The linebacker penetrated.
Became a father again this morning at 2 a.m. His wife Vicky and little baby girl. Congratulations to the Fulmers.
And Tennessee decided just to let the clock run. They're going to take a delay of game and have one more play. It's 4th down. They didn't want to give Mississippi State any opportunity to do anything with the football. So 8 seconds here for Bob Garman to punt the ball away. They move it back here to the 41.5-yard line.
You know, although Mississippi State was winless last year in the SEC, they're far from a doormat football team. They were in almost every game last year, and they fight. They give you all you can handle. They almost beat Alabama the last 3 years.
Garman with the punt. It's not going to get into the end zone. Clock will run down probably. And does. What a great punt by Bob Garman. It will not be effective in terms of doing anything bad to Mississippi State because the clock runs out, but it was a 52-yarder. It'll sure help his average. At halftime, we've got ourselves a good ball game here in Knoxville. Tennessee 16, Mississippi State 14. Where you're watching the Pride of the Southland Band, directed by Dr. W.J. Julian. The drum major's Tim Michaels. 300 students participate in the Pride of the Southland Band. This halftime show is dedicated to the spirit of volunteerism in the state of Tennessee, which goes all the way back to the Alamo. You'll hear songs like the theme from Back to the Future, Freedom, Jump, The Glory of Love. Let's watch the Pride of the Southland Band. Well, obviously, the University of Tennessee band is in mid-season form. The pride of the Southland band. We'll be going back to our studios for updates on college football action around the country today with Kevin Slayton right after this.
Welcome back.
2-point lead over Mississippi State at halftime. This is Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you. We have a great football game going here, and the highlights in the first half are interesting to say the least. Let's take State had the lead at the moment. UT came right back, though. William Howard bowls in from the 8-yard line. A missed point after touchdown, the first ever by Carlos Reves. Leaves the score at 9-7. Howard here again scoring his second touchdown in the first half. He also had 74 yards rushing, 16-7 UT, 10:27 remaining, and Don Smith comes back again. Remember last week, Don Smith rushed for over 100 yards. Smith has gone over 5,000 yards in total offense for his career in the first half yardage here. He has rushed, however, Tim, only for 16. Let me ask you this. This is a very close game in terms of 16-14. Tennessee was running very well with William Howard. They seem to go away from that. What do you expect from the Volunteers' second half?
Well, I don't think they necessarily went away from it. I think Mississippi State started to move the football, and what's going to happen is Mississippi State has to defend against the flanker screen. That's a play that's been good for 73 yards for Tennessee. It was the play that set up both of their touchdowns. They've got to stop that, and they've got to get a little bit tougher in the interior. All their down linemen have to do a better job of stopping William Howard because he is just running with too much freedom. And then we see what happens. Tennessee defensively, it just needs a little bit more individual effort on defense, I think. You know, they got out-jumped for the ball a couple of times, and those things are going to happen. You have to put those things behind you, get back to work.
Strong veteran defense returning here for Tennessee, as you pointed out in the first half, though. Sugar Bowl champions, SEC champions, maybe they just need to get some of that enthusiasm of 1985 back. We'll see what happens in the second half. Stay with us. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television. Is being placed on the shoulder of Jeff Francis, the Tennessee starting quarterback. We did not know until moments ago that Francis had actually become injured in that first half, but he does have the shoulder injury. You can see it's very doubtful that he will play in the second half. I would say he will not. Randy Sanders came in to replace him in the first half, and Sanders went 4 of 6 for 85 yards passing the football and ran the club very well. But Jeff Francis with a shoulder injury, and that's why it's important to have a couple of guys who can play. For Mississippi State, the backup for Don Smith is just a freshman, Mike Davis. They could be in big trouble should that happen. Lewis Clark, number 82, gets outside. He can run. Tennessee played well, and the man who got underneath him to knock him down at the 43 was the kicker, Carlos. You can see that the total yards for Mississippi State outdistanced Tennessee just a little bit, but one of the real differences in the game are the penalties. 7 for 58 yards against Mississippi State. That hurt several opportunities that the Bulldogs might have had to score. 51-yard punt return for Lewis Clark, and he was replacing their normal kick returner, Jerry Myers, who sprained his ankle. So the Bulldogs, an opportunity to go for the lead here on the opening drive of the second half, trailing 16-14 to Tennessee. Don Smith, a couple of yards on the keeper to the right side. Fred Bennett, number 95, with a tackle for Tennessee. Penalty marker on the field.
He's as intense a competitor as you'll ever see in college football. Talked to him before the game. I asked him how he slept. He said, "Man, I never sleep before these things." What a player he's been for Tennessee.
Number 54 is hero Bob Johnson, great many-year pro. Used to wear that number. Bob Johnson played for Cincinnati. That's why Dale Jones wears the number. Here comes Don Smith. He gets most of the penalty yardage back inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Darren Miller. A statistical story. It's very even. The time of possession has been very even, and this ball game could literally go either way. The crowd has not been a factor because Mississippi State has really kept themselves in the ball game. Second down 10 from the 44. This man rushed for only 16 yards in the first half. Very surprising. Misdirection play gives to Phillips. Phillips pops the ball loose. I believe Tennessee has it. It popped loose right at the 35. Volunteers football, and the first turnover of the year for Mississippi State. Last week, both State and Tennessee did not commit any turnovers. Tennessee led the nation in giveaway takeaways last year. It was Terry McDaniel with the ball.
A real fine job of running here. Good effort by Hank Phillips. He gets spun around. It looks like Charlie Davis Charles Davis popped it out. Terry McDaniel comes down with the football. First turnover of the year for the Bulldogs.
Volunteers still have not turned it over. They now have 3 takeaways, no giveaways. Here's Howard running effectively again out near the 40. Cedric Corse with his tackle. William Howard, who had 74 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half, running at tailback. Howard, normally the fullback, in place of the injured Keith Davis, having himself a whale of a ball game at tailback today.
Speaking of Charles Davis, he made the play that really turned the tide for good last week. Interception return for a touchdown, 55 yards in the 3rd quarter against New Mexico, and caused a fumble there. Continuing in the pattern of Tennessee's strong safeties.
William Howard again. Close to the first down goes the 225-pound tailback. Michael Simmons with the stop, number 96. There's a Mississippi.
O'Brien kicked the field goal that beat the Cowboys. 71.
3rd down 1. Howard out to the 50-yard line. First down, Volunteers. Anderson with the tackle. Just short of the 50-yard line, but it was a first down. And this is Tennessee. As we talked, as we looked at the highlights, Tim, we thought Tennessee might go back to running this because they have such a good offensive line, and this Howard is a good, powerful tailback. It just gives him a little bit of a head start from his normal fullback position.
I think they want to establish something there on the ground too. There's a type of domination that comes from being able to stuff the ball down somebody's throat. But Anthony Miller is back in the game.
Number 7. He's at the bottom of your screen. He's going to catch the ball right now.
There we go.
And he's going to catch a whole lot of Brian Hudson at the same time. Game face when that picture is taken. Brian, a junior. All right, it is 2nd down, 14 now, thanks to that loss. The ball at the 46-yard line. Randy Sanders, plenty of time. Now he's got trouble. Down he goes at the 39-yard line. That's Jerry.
Down from behind.
Well, this will be an interesting defensive play for Mississippi State. It is 3rd down 21 for the Volunteers. Back at their 39-yard line. They have to go to the 41 of Mississippi State for the first down. Single setback. Sanders, good protection. Clinkscales, short of the first down by a couple of yards. Plummer with a tackle, number 4. Excellent offensive line pass protection. 19 yards on the pass. They needed 21. Fans want them to go for it. Leading 16-14, 10:33 to go in the ball game. And we don't see the punt team come in yet, and now we do. Here comes the punting team. Johnny Majors knows better than to try for it. That's a long 4th down and 2. It's closer to 4th down and 3.
Yes, it is. And on the coverage, they had Kirby Jackson in there, a senior defensive back, and he's had problems with his ankle. I'm sure they're trying to work him in the game in passing situations. Clinkscale beat him across the middle as he was man-to-man underneath.
At 36 is Pete Panuska, the blocking back.
The man that led the SEC in rushing as a senior at Vanderbilt in '69.
Here's a punt. It's beautiful. Milton Smith's going to let it go over his head. And it's going to go out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Bob Garman got that 9-iron backspin on the ball and drilled it out of bounds. And the Bulldogs will have 91 yards to go for a score. We'll be right back. Memphis, Coach Bill Battle's team used a 42-yard interception return by Jackie Walker to defeat Mississippi State by a score of 10-7. The victory began a 7-game Tennessee win streak and a Liberty Bowl championship. That was back in 1971 when the Vols defeated Mississippi State in Memphis. They haven't played here in Knoxville, these two teams, believe it or not, since 1963. Been a very unusual series that started back in 1907.
And back in 1963, Mississippi State had 2 defensive assistants. One of them was Johnny Majors, and the other one was Ken Donahue. Isn't that something?
This is how the Bulldogs started the game, actually from their 14, this time from the 9. Shovel pass, that's Taylor. He got about 3 or 4 yards. He got back there and didn't know what to do with it exactly. All he could see was orange jerseys. Dale Jones with the tackle.
Dale Jones hit Don Smith. The ball was shoveled. There's a magnet in that ball that attracts that guy, number 54. He chased down the back.
We have a great piece of videotape we'll play for you in a little while of Dale Jones telling us why he makes so many big plays. It's interesting. 2nd down 6 from the 13. Receivers off the bottom of your screen now. In motion, Lewis Clark. Don Smith going to keep the ball and turn it upfield. And Don Smith picks up the first down for Mississippi State, a very big one. And I have a feeling in this kind of territory, Ziegler with the tackle, you're going to see Don Smith carry the ball a little bit more. They want to have as few exchanges of the football as possible deep inside.
Offensively, they put together a couple of long drives.
On the first down, Don Smith again cuts it upfield, gets about 3 or 4 across the 25, 26-yard line. Don Smith now, I think, has gone over 200 yards in total offense. He has the ball. Here's Dale Jones. 54.
Watch Dale Jones. Look at his patience. Smith faked the pitch. Jones sat there, made the stop. A couple of all-SEC performers meeting.
Second down 6 from the 26. Mississippi State started at their own 9. And a little bit of breathing room now. Trailing Tennessee 16-14. And off the front man, he gets out near the 30-yard line. Michael Taylor, the fullback.
Mississippi State's a little bit like Alabama. They don't really have a big back. One thing you haven't seen from the Mississippi State backs this afternoon is breaking tackles. And they're going to need to do some of that.
Big conversion play. Bulldogs only 4 of 8 on third down conversions. This is third down 3 from the 29. Don Smith calls timeout. That's one of the 3 allowable timeouts, and in a close ball. The mother of Don Smith, the Mississippi State, hasn't had as many victories with Mississippi State, but he's certainly had a great career. Mrs. Smith is on the sidelines every ball game. 2 timeouts in a row. Except, hold it, Don Smith is not calling a personal timeout. He's trying to get the official to call timeout because of the crowd noise.
And Mrs. Smith's telling them to keep quiet, but they're not listening.
Mrs. Smith is probably one of those making the noise, except she's yelling for Don. Here comes the crowd again, and the Tennessee players are cheering them on. There's a procedure call against the Bulldogs. That's a tough situation here at Neyland Stadium. Of course, it's the largest football stadium in the South, second largest in the nation. It's nearly full today. There were, I think, about 2,000 tickets of the 92,000 available here at game time.
Dead ball foul.
I think Don Smith probably wanted to call timeout to get the official to stop the crowd, but nevertheless, the penalty. 3rd and 9. Smith has a man there. It's complete, first down. Out of 9 converting third downs, and normally if you're around the 40% mark, you're doing well. So here's Smith, plenty of time, right over the middle, completed, almost intercepted. That was a juggling act by Hadley. He had it, started to look upfield, and then popped it up in the air. And I thought for a moment, I think it was Terry McDaniels was going to grab it. One of the. We have second down 10 from the 33. Smith with 225 yards of total offense in this game. Had 7 200-plus games in '85, only 2 back in '84. Nothing for Don Smith this time. This Tennessee crowd is wild. They thought they had the ball, but it was after it had been blown dead. It will bring up third down 10 now. Ziegler. Oh, man, there's Victor Peppers. This key player here that you're looking at on the sideline. Let's hope that young man's okay.
Just outmanned to the wide side of the field. Smith cuts it up underneath.
Good call by the officials. The ball was knocked loose when he hit the turf.
The ball was dead.
There's Jerome McLaurin, a freshman right tackle for Mississippi State. A lot of players getting nicked up in this game, and now Don Smith is calling timeout. That's the second of the 3 timeouts allowed, and that's going to come back and be a problem for this Mississippi State team. They'll have only 1 timeout remaining. We have 6:10 to go in the third quarter. Today's game is brought to you in part by Coors and Coors Light, beers with a difference worth tasting. And Mississippi State's going to re-huddle again. This volunteer crowd always plays a big role in the games here at Neyland Stadium. These players have never played here, but they'll remember today. Third down 9. Big conversion play for the Bulldogs. Don Smith. Oh my, that's just going to be an incomplete pass, I believe. Incomplete pass. Michael Taylor was really clobbered by 33 Keith DeLong. Oh, hello.
Good call here. Again, they're looking for the blitz. DeLong's got the coverage on it.
Here's a time when Tennessee would sure like to put a lot of pressure on this 18-year-old punter, Tommy Parks. He's a pure freshman, inside his 20s where he'll get the ball. Tennessee will be coming. And as Tim told you, he's slow getting the punt away. High snap. Gets away a pretty good kick, though. It's wobbly. Kramer at his 30. Right upfield. To the 45-yard line. Good field position for the Volunteers, leading 16-14. Tackled by the punter, Tommy Parks. 36-yard punt, 11-yard return. Some college football scores for you. Tennessee takes over the ball. Rutgers, we saw there, but you're not going to get to see it long.
Get some Rutgers fans in the booth.
We'll come back to that in a moment. Here's Randy Sanders. He's scrambling. He's running. 4 or 5 yards for a little more, about 7 yards. Randy Sanders, of course, with the tackle. Now, that's the dimension that Sanders brings to this ball club, a little bit better than Jeff Francis. Sanders is 6'1", 210, and he's got a pretty good speed for a quarterback.
Yes, he does. He definitely feels comfortable outside the pocket.
There's Virginia leading Navy 7-0 first quarter score. Syracuse lost to Mississippi State last week. Syracuse trying to establish themselves as another power besides Penn State in the East, leading Army today. But as you can see in this game today, that was no fluke victory by Mississippi State. This is a good Bulldogs football team. Trailing Tennessee by 2. This is 2nd and 5. Penalty markers down. Very little gain on the play. The Blue Tick Hound mascot.
The last time Tennessee had the football, Hudson came up, made a nice play in a screen pass that Anthony Miller had caught, flanker screen, and that time he got up there, took him on the blocker, spun around, and Howard went.
That's the 5th penalty of the game for Tennessee. 30 yards total.
Holding, 10-yard penalty, offense, repeat 2nd down.
It'll be 2nd down 15 from the 41. Tim, I get a feeling that this is this point in the ball game where momentum's going to switch to one of these ball clubs. We're just waiting to see which way it's going to go.
And I think it's going to be caused by the defense one way or another here. You're going to have a big play on one side of the ball.
That was Gary.
Participate in spring football, and he is still getting used to that position. He's 300 pounds, 6'3", but he's having a difficult time in there today.
Well, Robinson weighs 280. Tennessee's got a big line, too. They're checking out the line. Sanders with the new instructions to his team on 2nd down 10 from the 46. To the tailback, William Howard. He gets the 1st down. Look at him run over tacklers. To the 34-yard line, Jesse Anderson will get credit for the play. Penalty marker down at the point of tackle. A 19-yard burst by William Howard, and Howard has 104 yards on the day.
Bruin, Wilkerson, they've just done a fine job up front clearing the way for him. When he gets downfield, Asa Bennett tried to take him on, and that's a mismatch.
You can read the lips of Dick Burleson there, or at least I could. It came after the play. Let's see if we can spot it. Here's Howard.
But Franks ran around the block of the center back to the weak side. Jesse Anderson comes in and tries to take on Howard and gets a jaw full there.
Howard's bigger than Anderson.
Boom.
Personal foul, offense, 1st and 25.
Anderson's an outside linebacker, 215. Howard's 225.
Yeah,
It's got Howard in the lineup for Tennessee now. It is 1st down. Tennessee going long. There's Clink Scales. There's going to be pass interference. The defensive back lost sight of the ball. Milton Smith, the freshman. He's only 18 years old. And that's a big one. Now remember, though, it'll be, if it is pass interference, and I'm going to wait to see what they call last week. We had some crazy calls down there.
Even Foley, who wants to outlaw pass interference, says this is pass interference.
I know that's one of your pet peeves.
Right.
But that one was pass interference. Milton Smith lost sight of the ball, thought he was. So we move the ball up here 15 yards from the spot of the foul to make it 1st and 10. Now at the 35-yard line. Let's see if we can watch
this. See, looking inside. He crossed over there, got himself in trouble. Now he's just making up ground. Now all you're watching is the receiver's eyes. And if you're that might have been pass interference. I don't know. It's a little close.
Clinkscales is saying, hey, I'm just trying to catch the ball. I didn't come here to be mugged. William Howard loses his helmet, is still running. Take me back to 1934. William Howard looking like Bronco Nagurski. Oh, they love it here at Neyland Stadium. That's using your head, William.
Who needs a helmet? Gary Frank comes around to the block to the weak side, and whoop. The top pops off, and here goes Howard. That's a good idea now. Find the sideline.
Frank said, my goodness, I've got his head. It's second down. And another.
Are kids included? Can they get a free pass?
Yes.
If you have children.
I think if you're a
Under the
player and
age
have
of
children,
5.
I think that's a direct relative. And look at this course once again. Cedric Course went to Walker High School in Atlanta. He's 6'3", 220. Smart defensive player. He tried to do it, and they caught him this time. Sanders with some time, throwing on the move. It is caught by William Howard. What a career game William Howard is having. Now, it is still short of the first down, but he's out of bounds at the 39. Sanders was hit as he threw. It was tipped. William Howard came down with it.
Sanders on this play is looking for Joey Clinkscales. He wants the big one. Milton Smith is in good shape. It's not there. He unloads the ball here. Almost picked off by Sangster. And there's the ever-present William Howard.
This is going to be a 56-yard field goal attempt by Carlos Revés. His longest ever is 60 yards, so he has the range from 56 yards away. Sanders holding.
Kicking into the wind a little bit, Bob. Blocked. Let it go.
It's just going to. I think it was Simmons. He's 6'6". He got his big long arms.
It's always a problem. You try to put a little bit more zip in the sidewinder like Carlos is. It's going to reduce the amount of lift that you get.
Sounded like a pilot talking.
Right, yeah.
So State takes over there at the 39-yard line. First down. Don Smith has a man open, but he short-hopped it to his receiver. It's incomplete. That's Hadley. Leading Virginia 10-7.
Oh, George Welsh's old boys. He's coaching against his old school there, huh?
Second down, 10 from the 39. Don Smith, straight drop again. But now he's going to run the ball. Penalty markers are down. Smith goes to the 46-yard line.
That's what's happening. It's a little bit of a nitpick and call, but it's a judgment thing.
Second down, 15 from the 34-yard line. Here comes Tennessee. Smith dropping, throwing, but Lewis Clark didn't read the blitz. Oftentimes, 22 times they've thrown the ball, 23 times they've run the ball.
Well, that's Rocky Felker, and he's talking to Dave Rader upstairs. Two real solid offensive minds.
Third and 15 from the 34. It is complete. Short of the first down to Lewis Clark. He gets it out to the 43.5-yard line, tackled by Terry Brown, 14. And Mississippi State will have to give up the football with 2:56 to go in the third quarter. Tennessee continues to lead 16-14. This ball game's been played just nip and tuck here in the third quarter. Kind of sloppy on both sides. Defenses have played well.
Both offenses have stopped themselves in the second half with penalties.
Here's Tommy Parks, the freshman. He almost snapped it over his head last time. Good snap this time, though. He just barely gets it away, but get it away he does. Kramer at his 10. Nice punt. Good coverage by the Bulldogs. Kramer down at the 21. He lost the ball, but I think it was when he hit the turf. It'll remain in the possession of Tennessee. A 47-yard punt, 12-yard return. I want to remind you, we have a great doubleheader coming up here. State getting a rest this weekend following their loss to Nebraska. First down, 10 Volunteers from the 22-yard line. Randy Sanders, play fake. Hits Clinkscales, gets the block. Close to the first down to Joey Clinkscales. Darren Martin with a stop for the Bulldogs.
Same thing back to the weak side, Bob. That's the play that had gone so well for Anthony Miller to the wide side of the field. Now that Mississippi State has made some adjustments, they're coming back with it into the sidelines to Clinkscales.
Clinkscales with 5 catches here today. 49 yards. Had 7 catches against New Mexico.
Has done an exceptional job, along with Ken Donahue and Dick Bumpus and Mel Foles, on this Tennessee defense. He talks even faster than I do.
That's a world record. 2nd down inches for Tennessee now from the 32. And they give it to the fullback. Go ahead and get the first down out across the 35 to the 36. Jim Miller, the ball carrier. Let's go to Atlanta for this football update. Tim Foley, hoping you're enjoying our Southeastern Conference football action today. Slot formation left for Tennessee. Backs in the eye. They give it to Howard. Has a big hole. Gets the first down. Out to the 48-yard line. Jesse Anderson with the tackle again. A gain of 13 yards. And that's the 20th carry on the day for William Howard, and he's just done an exceptional job for Tennessee, replacing the injured Keith Davis.
Gary Franks, I think, is really getting down on himself. Gary Frank, he's having a difficult time. That time he walked back into the Tennessee huddle. So he's the center, and got a little bit lost on that one.
It's 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. And off to Howard again. Finds the hole again. Nice shift also. Another first down run for Howard. Or it's going to be very close anyway. Just short of the 40-yard line. Force with the tackle. This offensive line's doing the job for the Volunteers today.
Just an exceptional job. As you said, Bob, Smith and Galbraith, Wilkerson, Bruin.
8 tackles today at inside linebacker and 2 sacks for the Bulldogs.
Someone else that's done a more than adequate job is Bruce Plummer on the outside. He's been man-to-man most of the day by himself, and his receiver has not been on the reception end of the ball very often.
William Howard doing it for Tennessee. They give this time to Jim Miller. Miller gets 2 or 3 up the middle down to the 38-yard line, keeping him honest. And I agree, 54 Gary Frank, the nose guard for Mississippi State, is having one of the longest days he'll have as a college player. This Tennessee offensive line really working over that 295-pound nose guard.
And it takes a while to develop the instinct. You know, it certainly isn't his fault. He hasn't had any experience in there. Now all of a sudden he's on the other side of the ball, and what he's got to do is learn to use his hands to control the blockers. I think the blockers are getting into him a little bit.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Tennessee leading 16-14, and on the move when we come back. It'll be 2nd down 7 from the 38. We'll be right back to Knoxville, Tennessee. Dealers for comfort, innovation, and a real commitment to quality. It'll be 2nd down 7 from the 38. Volunteers. Here comes Mississippi State. Howard got the ball anyway, just avoided a real wreck in the backfield. He gets down to the 35-yard line. Big series for the Volunteers. The penetration is something. Mississippi State had 2 or 3 players in the backfield there. How Sanders got the ball to his own player, I don't know. Total yards, Tennessee now outdistancing Mississippi State 303, and look at the difference on the ground, 122 for Tennessee. That's been the significant difference. This is 3rd and 4, big conversion for the Volunteers, and the Bulldogs, I believe, jumped off sides. Gary Frank trying to get that quick penetration. If in fact it's the Bulldogs, it'll give a first down to Tennessee and be a very significant play. It's against Mississippi State. We'll have to remember that one, the first down at the 30.
And you hate to give them those free ones like that. Little voice inflection by Sanders. And he got Gary Frank to jump.
There's Sanders. He's directing this offense like he's a veteran, even though he's had very little game experience. Down he goes, but he got the handoff away. It is William Howard. Hard to bring down to the 20-yard line. He goes. Asa Bennett with the tackle. 10-yard gain. That's just the narrowest of margins does Cedric Course miss.
This is a play that can turn into a fumble. You talk about a game changer. Course comes in there, isn't able to make the play. Howard flicks off Brian Hudson, and Asa Bennett finally corrals him.
Look at that, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns for William Howard. What a day he's having, replacing the injured Keith Davis. It is first down 10 at the 20 now. Here he comes again. Out of bounds at the 15, just inside the 15-yard line goes William Howard. He seems to be in great condition. He doesn't look as though he's slowing down any. That's his 24th carry on the afternoon. Hello, Mom. Is my laundry finished? I'll be checking with you right after the ball game. That's the conversation there. Or, hey, Dad, I can't get you a pass this week. They're rare here. Only kidding, folks. It is second down 4 from the 14. And off goes to Jim Miller, the fullback. He gets the first down. The Volunteers running it right down the throat of this now tiring Mississippi State defensive front line.
That's Ray Robinson in there, getting some good action. John Bruin, 75. Teeing off.
16-14, Tennessee leading, 13-19 to go in the game. It is first down goal from the 8-yard line of Mississippi State. Sanders checking off again. William Howard inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. William Howard now with 152 yards. William Howard is only 7 yards short of his entire rushing yardage for 1985. He had only 159 yards all last year, and he has 152 in this game.
Asa Bennett again coming up from his weak safety position to make the stop. The 185-pounder.
That's Jeremiah Sangster that the trainers are attending to down at the 5-yard line. Sangster was shaken up a little bit earlier. Let's go now to Atlanta for this update. Been missing Alabama, but I might remind everybody that Alabama's murder in the second half. It is second down goal from the 4-yard line. William Howard needs a block. Nobody touches him. 3 touchdowns on the day. It's a textbook, the offensive line.
If only they were all like this, says William Howard. Clean, nobody, this is like practice. Boom. Good job of blocking by the orange jerseys. Cleared the way for William Howard.
Little John Majors tries to convince him to go back to fullback and block Keith Davis. And the University of Tennessee has now taken a 9-point lead, 23-14, with 12:26 to go in the game. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television. Number 35, the fullback moved to tailback due to the injury to Keith Davis. 156 yards, 3 touchdowns today, and he'll be the first to tell you, don't just say my name, but mention the name of those big guys in front of him. They have done a tremendous job today.
Yes, they have. And Bobby Wallace, the defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs, mixed the blitz in a few times on that drive, but he's got kind of a tough choice. He could probably stop the run if he brought everybody, but then you're leaving Milton Smith out there man-to-man on Anthony Miller or Joey Clinkscales, and it's just not you can either give them a touchdown if they have a chance to earn it. If they earn it by developing a drive like that, 78 yards without really making any major mistakes, they're going to score some touchdowns. But most teams in college football won't do that.
There's Lewis Clark to take the kickoff. We do know that Mississippi State is potent offensively. They can score and score big and quickly. They've already done it today, so we'll see how that goes. Up the sideline comes Marcus Bush, the running back, who cuts it back to the middle and goes down at the 23-yard line. 12-yard kickoff return, and there the Bulldogs will set it up. Mike Kelly with the tackle for Tennessee, number 44. So let's see what Don Smith and company can do against the Volunteers here in Knoxville. They have 12 minutes, 18 seconds remaining, trailing by 9. Don Smith has passed for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns today. He has rushed for only 34 yards and 9 carries. That may change, although he needs to move the ball possibly during the air now, trailing by 9. Unbelievable. He throws the ball going down. There was a receiver in the vicinity. There will not be a receiver in the area. Here comes our guy, Dale Jones. All right, it's second down 10. From the 23-yard line. Tennessee's after him again. Receiver open, didn't get the ball. At the 40-yard line, Lewis Clark. There's plenty of time left. Mississippi State doesn't have to get it all back on this, but they'd sure like to convert here. It is third down 10 from their own 23-yard line.
Here they come.
Going deep, and the receiver was bumped out of bounds. And they're going to say that he caught the ball. Now, if you're bumped out of bounds, Tennessee's arguing. But if you're bumped out of bounds, you can come back and catch it.
That's right. Question about it. The logo's out of bounds. Way out of bounds there. Way out of bounds. Coming back.
It's a good call. He came down inbounds from out of bounds.
Amazing.
All right, big play for the Bulldogs to the 47.5 of Tennessee. Don Smith meets Charles Davis. Charles Davis told me yesterday that he wanted to spend all afternoon with Don Smith if Don ran the ball very much. He has not, but Charles was with him that time.
Charles, really an interesting story. Enrolled in graduate school this semester, having graduated. Kramer gives him a shot. They're saying that Kramer pushed him out of bounds. He is off the ground, makes the catch. The official rules him in bounds.
Second down 9 from the 46. Smith got good protection this time. Incomplete, looking for Clark down the sideline at the 24-yard line. Good coverage by Kramer. I'll tell you what, when I looked at that replay, you'd have to do a lot of convincing, someone would, to prove to me that Kramer really pushed him out of bounds. But because he had his hand out there, that's enough, probably. Right there in the upper right of your screen. Did he push him out of bounds? Possibly. And if he influenced it, then that's what the call was. So Mississippi State's drive stays alive, but here they come with another third down conversion. They are 5 of 11. And a big one. 3rd and 9 from the 46 of Tennessee. Going for everything. He has Hadley deep. Broken up, and there's a penalty marker at the 2-yard line. It was almost intercepted by Davis, Charles Davis, intended for Hadley. If it's defensive pass interference, it will be a first down. Charles Davis, a political science major, getting an opportunity to apply his trade there.
Okay, Charles Davis is beat. Making up ground now. He's in the area, gets his head around. See,
I'm going to say it even before you do. I don't think it was pass interference. Davis was going for the interception.
Yeah, great play. If he makes the catch, is he called for pass interference? I think, you know, he's got a right to the football too. He thinks he makes a great play. And
well, let's see what they're going to call here. Maybe they're going to go the other way with it. No, they're going against Tennessee. That's what I thought. They'd moved all the way back. It's a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. They move it to the 31, and I think the Vols have right to be upset. The fans do.
Defense, automatic first down.
First of all, the in and out of bounds catch, which was close, although I tend to think that it could have been called the way it was. And then this one that's maybe a mystery.
See, the thing that Charles Davis did that was important is he got his head around and played the football.
They hand it off to Robinson, who gets to the 29-yard line, and down he goes. The 8th tackle of the afternoon for Kelly Ziegler. The penalties in this game have been something. Mississippi State has 13 penalties for 98 yards, and Tennessee 8 for 65. They've been penalized 163 yards, the two teams. Second down, 8 from the 29 now.
The books always balance out. Rocky Felker had cause for concern early on. A couple calls went against him, but those certainly were in his favor.
Here comes Taylor. Made a nice cut. Taylor close to the first down near the 21-yard line.
The only thing we can see from as high as we are is the top of their helmet, so occasionally we get some numbers wrong.
There's Phillips, number 29, who got it close. They're measuring right now. Let's see. It is short about a foot of the first down. There's where we are, the nosebleed section, high above Neyland Stadium. It is a great football stadium, but a very high view from the press box. We can see Rocky Top from here. So it's going to be third down and less than a yard for Mississippi State. And another significant conversion situation.
Now here's a chance where you might go with a play pass. It'd be a gamble, but at the old Bart Starr Green Bay Packer, fake it up into the line of scrimmage, one receiver pattern.
Full house backfield. They've moved Clark back there into the backfield. They give it to Phillips. He was hit behind the line, but gets the first down. A great job of running by Hank Phillips before the first half ended. Misdirection to Phillips. Gets 3 or 4 out of the play. Good read by Tennessee's defense. Brian Hunt with the tackle.
That's the same play that Gene Jelks took for 74 yards last week. And just kind of a little sucker play. No one blocks him. You hope that the defensive lineman's going to go with the flow of the play. Didn't happen. Well played by Tennessee.
Gene Jelks not playing, or wasn't expected to play today for Alabama. Has a groin injury. Bobby Humphrey was going to fill that position. This drive started at the 23 of Mississippi State. It is second down and 7 at the 17 of Tennessee. Pass is complete to Hadley, out of bounds, short of the first down at about the 10.5-yard line. So we're going to have another one of these third down conversions coming up. This will be third down in just inches.
Well, Rocky Felker, 33 years old. The next several years going to have to make a lot of these kind of decisions if he's going to get to where John Majors has, 2 times National Coach of the Year. Looks like they've called a timeout. That's
third and inches. First down, Bulldogs. It was Hank Phillips who took it right over the middle inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Those are 2 big first down runs by the Bulldogs. So now it'll be first and goal, and they're going to spot just about half the ball inside the 10-yard line. Clock down to 8:51 to go in the game. 23-14, Tennessee leading. I like the look of this Mississippi State football team. They may or may not be able to beat Tennessee here in Neyland Stadium today, but they have some good players and they're tenacious. Marcus Bush, 22, and 33, Calvin Robinson in the backfield. That's Robinson to the 3-yard line.
Went to school there, got married there. Always dreamed about coming back as a head coach.
Second down goal from the 4. Hadley in motion. Here's the pitch. There's a loss of a yard in the play. 22, Marcus Bush with the ball. That Tennessee defense really stiffened there. I'm a little surprised we're not seeing Don Smith running with the ball, sprinting out there and taking the opportunity to cut it upfield at this close to the goal line. So now we have third down goal from about the 5-yard line.
They try to hit a trap on the first play, hit a trap back into the sidelines, thinking that Tennessee might be slanting away. Then they try to run the toss back into the sidelines, thinking that Tennessee would be protecting the field.
Third down goal from the 5. Don Smith has time. Can't find anybody. Throws into the end zone now. That's Clark. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Lewis Clark. Don Smith scrambling, giving Clark time to break loose. That was the 15th play of the drive that started at the 23-yard line. 23-20 Tennessee. Big point after coming up here.
It's amazing how quiet 93,000 people can be.
Artie Cosby coming in for the point after. Carlos Reveiz missed a point after for Tennessee early in the ball game. That could make a big difference because this will be a 2-pointer. He misses it. Artie Cosby misses the point after that would have drawn Mississippi State to within 2 points of Tennessee, but now it will remain 23-20, and that's why coaches are always nervous about the kickers. Unbelievable. There's Lewis Clark in motion, 82, the man who catches the TD pass.
Comes back against the grain. Kramer in good shape on him. Just a perfectly thrown ball. Nice job by Smith. I've been really impressed with his touch on State's drive, 77 yards. And Rocky's talking to him now about staying in there. Look, we deserve to win. You've been close in the past and lost it at the end. We're going to win this game.
Here comes Thomas Woods. He has an opening. Great field position for the Volunteers to the 41-yard line. And the tackle was made by Artie Cosby. Well, you can see, you know, dogs sweat by dripping on their tongues. That's how that works, you know, when they're hot. So Smokey, the blue tick hound, is sweating, and Tennessee has a right to, leading only by 3. Volunteers 23, Mississippi State 20. 7:08 to go in this ball game. Far from over. It's been a beauty here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Bob Neal, Tim Foley with you. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Randy Sanders in for the injured quarterback Jeff Francis for Tennessee. Sanders has done a good job. Out here to Miller, and they have him covered this time. Miller goes down hard. Tackle made by Milton Smith.
Microman comes up and puts the hit on Anthony Miller. Fine player. True freshman playing cornerback in, you know, the SEC.
Had a big game last week. A big punt return, interception in his first football game against Syracuse, and made some big plays here today.
And once again, no one else really recruited it. Mississippi State. You expect that from one of those blue chippers.
Second down 13. Loss of 3 on the play for the Volunteers from the 38-yard line. And here comes Miller again. This time, though, he gets 4 or 5 off the right tackle position out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Jeremiah Sangster is playing nicked up, number 40 for Mississippi State with the tackle.
Ron Zook trying to pick up defensive players from Tennessee, get them to believe in it again. Confidence is a fragile thing, and we've talked about it before. When things are hot, you expect to make the big play. You expect something good is going to happen. That last drive, only bad things happened for Tennessee.
They need something here. Third down 8 Volunteers from the 43. Sanders has time. It's incomplete. I thought for a moment that Milton Smith was going to be able to come back there and take that tipped ball for an interception, but not to be the case, and Tennessee will have to turn the ball over. There's Lewis Clark, who has 2 touchdown receptions today.
You know, he's the type of receiver that'll fit into any pro football scheme. He's big enough to be a tight end, be a blocker in those kinds of situations, and elusive enough to play on the outside.
Garmin into punt. Averaging 46.5 yards per punt today. He's hit 2 inside the 20. This one looked like it was partially blocked. However, it takes a great Tennessee bounce and gets down to the 30-yard line. I think somebody got a hand on it. Brian Hudson, number 18. Garmin gets only 27 yards on that, thanks to Brian Hudson. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television. Bob Garmin punting.
One of the things you don't want to do in this situation is run into the kicker. Hudson took a real nice angle, and he must have hit it because Garmin's looking the other way. So
talk about something, had he just got a little bit more of his hand on it, Brian Hudson, that ball could have been in the end zone. This thing could have turned around in a heartbeat. As it is now, that's what the Mississippi State folks think. As it is now, 70 yards away. Here's Phillips. Nice hole, nice run. Hank Phillips gets about 7 yards. Victor Peppers with the tackle. Now, this Hank Phillips is impressive to me. He's a 6'1", 200-pound sophomore from Meridian. He has very nice moves at the line of scrimmage.
He's got good quickness and acceleration at the cutting point. Watch this. They X-block it back to the weak side, and here he comes. He's planning on those linebackers to overrun it. Eludes one man, and Peppers grabs him. Had a real fine run against Syracuse to score a touchdown.
Second down 3 from the 38. Don Smith looks to go long. That's Hadley down there. Almost picked off by number 14, Terry Brown, at the 20-yard line. Simply incomplete. Take a look at some college football scores for you now. Some interesting action today. Look at this. Second quarter. Southern Mississippi 10, Alabama 7. Remember, though, it's only second quarter. BYU leading New Mexico. Tennessee beat last week. Georgia clobbered Duke 31-7. That was to be expected, I think, by most folks. North Carolina shutting out Kansas 20-0. We'll see North Carolina play Florida State next week. And Furman and Georgia Tech a tie. Furman comes into Atlanta, 1AA power, and ties Georgia Tech. They always give the Yellow Jackets trouble. Don Smith breaking loose. Nobody will catch Don Smith. He's gone. Touchdown. 62 yards. The Bulldogs have taken the lead. And as Tim said, it's only a matter of time till Don Smith breaks one. Oh, my. They're stunned in Knoxville. It's 26-23 Mississippi State.
Oh, guarantee you Rocky is excited. They don't know what to think here, Bob. What an effort. Don Smith really got clocked on the play before as he let the ball go. I didn't think he'd get up, but he popped himself right back up and went 60 yards.
Cosby hits this one after missing the other PAT, and now it is a 4-point Bulldog lead, 27-23, 4:40 remaining.
Great block by Sims and a good fake by the fullback, and no one was there. Pursuit took a bad angle, and there was just no defense in depth.
4-5 40-yard dash time for Don Smith. These defensive backs for Tennessee run about the same time. They weren't about to catch him that time. Smith's total offense today, 335 yards, 239 passing, 96 running, 3 TDs in the air, 1 on that run, 62 yards. He said hi, Mom, when she's in the stands. What a player we're watching here today for the Bulldogs. And now the Bulldogs have their cheering section up over on the far side of the field at about the 30-yard line. There are about 3,000 or 4,000. You can see them on the left side of your screen there where the orange stops. There they are, the Mississippi State fans, and they are delirious. They beat Syracuse at the Carrier Dome, and now they lead the Volunteers in Knoxville by 4 with 4:40 to go. But the Volunteers had a great drive last time with the ball. So that could happen again.
They don't have a lot of seniors on this Mississippi State football team, but the ones that they do have are solid people. They're good leaders, and they're the type that you want around the younger players.
Crosby's kickoff is going out of bounds. 5-yard penalty. Having a little trouble hitting that ball here today. And there is Mrs. Don Smith right in the center of your screen, telling her seatmate there exactly how she taught Don to do that. Don Smith's 5th grade teacher called a high school coach in Hamilton and said, I think I found a quarterback for you. He's only in 5th grade, but this young man can run and throw the ball in 5th grade. And they followed him right through until he went to Hamilton High School, where he won 46 and lost 0.
That's amazing. Hitting 50% of his passes. And he's taken some real healthy licks after he let a couple of those balls go. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
What a day he's having. 15 of 30, 239 yards, and 11 carries for 97 yards, 62 yards on the other. Crosby hits it pretty well here. Thomas Woods drops it to 4. And he's got an alley to the 34-yard line. Excellent return. Artie Cosby with the tackle. 29 yards on the kick return, and the University of Tennessee now trailing 27-23. Set up action at their own 34-yard line. An upset in the making. We'll see what the Volunteers have to say about that. Tennessee with a backup quarterback. Randy Sanders, the sophomore, came in place of Jeff Francis, who injured his shoulder in the first half of play.
I'm not sure Tennessee has been behind in a football game since the game we did in Birmingham. I think they were behind Alabama.
You're right. I believe you are right. Here comes Mr. Success, William Howard. Gets about 8 off right tackle behind Bruce Wilkerson, John Bruin. Tight end Tim Hendricks. Tennessee has time, 4:19, and Tennessee has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. There's the injured quarterback, Francis.
4 minutes and 11 seconds, 10 seconds, that's all day. You can just stay with the same pattern. You don't have to alter anything that you've been doing offensively.
Second down 2, Volunteers. William Howard, first down, and a little bit more. Got to about the 46-yard line. Cedric Course with his 9th tackle of the day for the Bulldogs. Rocky Felker asking himself and his defensive assistants, how are we going to stop him? And Howard has 173 yards. There's the Tennessee defensive meeting with Ron Zook.
That's Ron Zook, and he's trying to understand what's going on in there.
I can tell him in 6 letters. Right, but 8 letters. Don Smith. About 9 yards on the carry that time. And what a workhorse William Howard has been today. For William Howard, that is his 30th carry. Tennessee at the 46-yard line of Mississippi State. They've got to find a way to stop this Tennessee running game. And second down 2, Howard again. First down again. Well, you just keep going to the well. Every time you can get a bucket full of cool, fresh water, you dip it back in there again.
Right, well, they haven't been able to stop it yet. There's no reason to see why they could stop it now. That Ryan Hudson got in there along with Jerry Leggett to try to slow him down.
Remember, with 3:07 to go, Tennessee now has 2 timeouts remaining. Excuse me, all 3 timeouts remaining. But as you see on the scoreboard, it's a 4-point game. Tennessee needs the touchdown. It is first down 10 from the 44. Here comes William Howard again. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Gets to about the...
Remember, too, you've got a quarterback in his first game.
With an audible, second down 9, clock ticking down. 9 from the 43-yard line of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Bulldogs leading by 4, 27-23. Clinkscales wide left, Miller wide to the right. Sanders going to throw. Going deep. Has time. He hits the underneath man. It is complete to the 10 to Tim Hendricks, the tight end. His first catch of the day, a 33-yarder. They were trying to cover Clinkscales and number 7, Anthony Miller. They didn't get the tight end covered.
This is the pattern that they've run twice successfully in the game. They clear it out with Anthony Miller. They know they're thinking deep. Hendricks finds that area between the man in the flat and the deep pattern. Here's Clinkscales. He's on the far side of the field. Anthony Miller is back toward on the side of the field where the action is.
So it is first down and 10 from about the 10.5. The third gets it to the 8 and out of bounds. Just barely got that play off before the clock ran out. In the game, we have 2:07 remaining. It's Bulldogs 27, Tennessee 23. The Volunteers need the touchdown. Field goal would help them not. The second down and about 7 now when we come back to this play. What a ball game we've had in Knoxville. The Volunteers with a courageous come-from-behind drive here and a great call during the timeout with the pass to the tight end, Tim Hendricks. On the 8-yard line, second down. Sanders with that pre-snap checkoff again. William Howard hit in the backfield, loses ground. It was Sangster knifing through, and he goes down at about the 11. Oh, it's everything down. Tennessee will go for both of them. So even though it's third down coming up, Tennessee has 2 attempts to score here.
Right, John Majors on the phone with Walt Harris up in the booth. Walt Harris is the teacher, the mentor of these 2 young quarterbacks. He brought along Tony Robinson and Darrell Dickey and Coach David Wilson and Tony Eason over at Illinois. Doug Matthews with his arm on Sanders there.
Tim, we're going to go to Atlanta real quickly for some college football scores.
Thank you very much, Bob. Look at this one. Ohio State in deep trouble. They're about to lose their second game of the year. Another upset for them. 24-0 Washington as they near the half out in Seattle. Big upset there. Virginia Tech, another big one here over Clemson. That one is a final, 20-14. This one's not an upset, but BC beat Cal 21-15, first win of the year for the Eagles. Let's go back to Knoxville.
And there's an upset in the making here, depending on what Tennessee can do with their next two plays. It is 3rd down 11. Tennessee from the 11-yard line, trailing the Bulldogs 27-23. 1:57 to go in the game. 3 receivers, Clinkscales, Miller, and Cleveland in there for Tennessee. Penalty marker down. This will be a big call. It's at the line of scrimmage. It's 5 yards against Tennessee, but Tim, correct me if I'm wrong here. This is not a really devastating penalty for Tennessee because it gives them a little more room to work if, in fact, they're throwing the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not too concerned with that 5 yards.
Move it back to the 16-yard line. Obviously, they don't want the penalty, but it does give them a little more room.
Dead ball foul, illegal procedure. Center moved the ball on the offense.
And he might have been doing that all along to Gary Frank. We've been kind of getting on him, but he might have been sliding the ball on him. If I'm a defensive back in this situation, I'd play off. I want to see what's happening. I want to get vision on the ball. It's a blitz checkoff here. I'd get back off the ball.
Here comes Mississippi State. Sanders into the end zone. Has it on there. He throws it over the head of Terrence Cleveland, who was open. Cleveland open. Sanders couldn't connect.
You see Asa Bennett, the weak safety, everybody blitzing on the inside. Brian Hudson just overthrows the ball.
So for Tennessee, it's down to this. 1:53 to go. And that's Anthony Butts, by the way, for Mississippi State being helped off the field. Their big defensive tackle. Let's hope he's all right. Sophomore from Atlanta. Here's the situation in the game. 1:53 remaining. Mississippi State leads by 4. The field goal wouldn't help. 4th down and 16 for Tennessee.
Defensively, you want to play this almost like a prevent situation, Bob. You know, you don't care if they catch the ball.
They got about a half a yard.
They got a half a yard,
down.
but I mean, basically, get depth. Don't get beat right at the line of scrimmage. That's what happened to Hudson on that last play.
Here it comes. Randy Sanders, the sophomore, his first significant game action. They go into a shift, and Tennessee uses their last timeout. And wisely so, because it doesn't matter if they can't score here. So Sanders comes to the sideline. Remember the last time he called timeout, they came back and hit that tight end underneath and got themselves down here to the 10 before the Bulldog defense stiffened.
Well, one of the things that's happening now is they wanted to see in this formation how Mississippi State was going to line up. It's almost, Bob, like in a baseball game where you put in a relief pitcher and then instead of batting the left-hander, you put in a right-hander and then you change relief pitchers. It's that kind of a poker game that's going on right now. In the end, the players are the ones that make the play. As a coach, you would like to get them in the best situation possible. You'd like to get a mismatch offensively. And when you look at Anthony Miller, Joey Clinkscales, and Terrence Cleveland, you get 3 really talented wide receivers. I don't think...
Plus the 6'5" tight end.
6'5" tight end. Mississippi State has got some good, talented athletes in there, but they don't have 3 quality defensive backs the same quality as those offensive receivers.
4th down 16. Minute 53 to go. This is everything for Tennessee. Here comes the Bulldogs. Into the end zone. It's incomplete. Almost picked off by Plummer. He batted it away from Anthony Miller. And for the Volunteers, they have no timeouts remaining. They give the ball up at the 11-yard line on downs. The Bulldogs are going crazy on the far sideline.
This surprises me. Never really a chance. And you're throwing it at their best defensive back. Now, of course, Anthony Miller is a great athlete, but I'd have picked on the 5'8" guy, personally.
Bruce Plummer 6'1", Anthony Miller 6 feet tall, and the Volunteers are staring a major upset. And we talked before the game, and the Volunteers defending SEC champions. If you lose one game in the SEC, if you lose one game, your chances of winning the conference are very slim. That's why the first SEC game is so very important. I mean, you've got to win them all. Here's Tennessee looking at a defeat. No timeouts remaining. Clock down to 1:41. Saving a turnover here. We were talking about that SEC race as we checked Mississippi State's offensive huddle. In 53 years of Southeastern Conference football, only one team has bounced back from losing the league opener to win the conference title, and that was 1965 when Alabama's Crimson Tide rallied from an 18-17 loss to Georgia to finish 6-1-1 and beat Auburn, who had a 4-1-1 record. But it's virtually impossible, so it really puts you in a hole. Minute 9, minute 8, clock ticking. No timeouts remaining for either team. They'll just run out the clock here. Don Smith keeping it. 1:02. It's going to bring up, that was 2nd down 8. It'll bring up 3rd down. They have 25 seconds. You see how the clock runs there. 25 seconds between plays. So it's going to run down. An opportunity possibly for Tennessee to have the ball with one play left.
Mississippi State will certainly have to punt. And that's going to be a long few seconds for Rocky Felker. Got a brand new freshman kicker. And the snap on one of his punts so far today was rather high.
Yeah. They got that off at exactly 0. Smith goes down at the 25, and they're not going to have to. That clock just kept running. That's going to be it. They will not have to punt. With 16 seconds left, they'd have 25 to get the play underway. And Rocky Felker is telling them to stay on the field. Don't
opening toss, and they'll be receiving. Coming in with a record of 2 wins and 3 losses. Tennessee's record is now 1.